Last summer, I attended a space and missile defense conference in Huntsville, Alabama, and senior weapons developers publicly and flatly said at that time, the US is number 3 with hypersonics, behind Russia, behind China. Much has been reported about Chinese hypersonic weapons tests, Russia and its own TASS news agency touting air-launched hypersonics, firing one in the conflict against Ukraine. But there's been a lot of progress on the US side, and now there's been some real breakthrough steps forward. Handful of things here. Number one, on the Navy side, Chief of Naval Operations Admiral Gilday said they are making great progress. They doubled the hypersonics budget just within the last stretch of time. They'll be firing hypersonic weapons from the deck of the USS Zumwalt destroyers by 2025. They'll be firing from submarines, which requires a different kind of technology and propulsion system by 2028. Those are extremely significant developments. And even nearer term, the Army's long-range hypersonic weapon. This has been very focused on schedule. Last summer, General Thurgood, who's in charge of developing these, said they will meet their 2023 timeframe. That is also in conjunction with the Navy, working on something called a common hypersonic glide body. Now, what this is a single trajectory, hypersonics glide bodies. They bounce off the boundary of the upper atmosphere, and they use the sheer speed of their descent, kinetic energy as it's called, after being thrust up with the booster, to use that speed to take out a target. And the big thing, as is widely known with hypersonics, speed. An enemy simply doesn't have time to respond if overwhelmed by something traveling that fast. And of course, the amount of time it takes to go certain distances. So the glide body for both the Army and the Navy will be configured differently in each of the service's weapons applications, but it is nonetheless a common effort. And hypersonics are essentially here. As for the Air Force, they recently had a very successful launch of the Arrow, air-launched rapid response weapon that fired from a B-52, fired with a booster, and then also used a glide body to descend upon a target. This was a very successful breakthrough that it succeeded in reaching and then sustaining hypersonic speeds. This has been underway for many years now, and the challenge technically has been to withstand the temperature at those speeds and also to sustain hypersonic flight. Well, that's slated to be fired from fighter jets and B-52s in coming years. And let's just talk for a minute about hypersonics, because it's inextricably woven together, offense and defense. If there isn't really a clear or decided way to take out a hypersonic projectile, which is maneuvering and doesn't follow the parabola-like trajectory of a ballistic missile, very difficult to defend against, and also much, much faster. There isn't a way to do that. One potential defense is essentially a massive offense, the ability to respond in a conventional way in a massive volley of hypersonic attacks to blunt or essentially counter any kind of attack. Hypersonics are here, they're extremely significant, and they're here to stay. Chris Osborne, Warrior Maven, Center for Military Modernization.